Okay, what up, friendos? Welcome back. It's time we talk about Aion 2 because this no clickbait is probably one of the worst MMORPG launches I've ever seen, and is actually considerably worse as a situation than I was giving them credit for. I made multiple videos talking about how this game is going to be pay to win trash. I made multiple videos how we've had one subscription, why not two subscriptions? And how the developers were going to repeatedly lie to the public because that's what they do. Little did I know they were going to prove me right quicker than ever thought possible, and they would make it worse. They'd make it so bad, in fact, that they'd make the company of NCSoft lose 15% stock valuation in a single fucking day, and then also have to go on live stream in an emergency broadcast and apologize and blackout curtains behind them, making it look like they're at some kind of fucking funeral because they've lied so badly to the public. And of course, some people are defending this. We'll go through the usual social media fucking idiots in this video. But Aion 2, obviously, Korean game, mobile game, PC as well. People were some people who didn't know any better, I guess, were semi-excited for this game. And honestly, I was excited to play the game. But I've not really been able to play the game because it didn't let me log in for the first, essentially, day and a half. And then when I finally got on last night for like 30 minutes, it's so fucking laggy. Like, I think the servers were getting DDoSed and I was on for like 30 minutes. I had to complete the tutorial 3 times. So I haven't really got to play the game all too much yet. But what I have got to play, it's indistinguishable from a mobile game. Like, for the fucking person who, by the way, deleted his account, you know, the guy who I highlighted in a couple of videos who was posting complete lies and fabrications about me, saying I told him to KYS. He apparently said, oh, I'm really excited about Aion 2. And then I apparently highlighted his comment in a video and said, you should, end your life in Minecraft, you piece of shit. Which obviously didn't happen. It's all on video. It's provable. And when I called him out and said, you're a liar, here's your lying comment, he deleted his Reddit account. But that guy made repeated posts saying, Aion 2 is a PC first MMO, and actually it's not worse because it's built on mobile. And then you play the game, and the fucking game is a mobile game. Like, everything about it is a mobile game. You're pressing like a button and it's auto-pathing across the entire game. It auto speaks to NPCs. The UI is complete mobile. It's just bad. And unfortunately, I can't really give the game like a really good shake at the stick or whatever, shake of the stick, because again, it's so laggy that if I press my dodge hotkey, my character freezes for 3 seconds, and if I try to sprint, sometimes it teleports me backwards, and the combat has like a second delay on it. So yeah, I'll probably try and play a little bit more, but for this video's purpose, we're essentially going to ignore the fact that I've logged into the game or that the game is playable in any way, and just know that for like a day and a half, you couldn't log in because if you didn't already tie your account to like the mobile verification, if you had a foreign number, it would just not send you an SMS. It would just pop up and say that there's an error. And even people from Taiwan were getting this, so I guess it wasn't even totally foreign numbers. So the game was fucked. It was apparently getting DDoSed. But that's not the news, right? MMO launch going to be laggy and people not be able to connect, whatever. The issue is, of course, is that as this game launched, the NCSoft share price had been sort of steadily growing on the back of like the idea that Aion 2 was going to be this big new game, because they were like, yeah guys, all eggs in this basket, this game's going to be sick, it's a new next generation MMO and we're not going to ruin it with monetization. They were literally saying that to shareholders. I don't know how these motherfuckers aren't going to get sued at this stage. They were saying in shareholder meetings, we're going to have a fairer monetization. They went on stream, they trotted these two fucking guys out on stream for months and lied to your face. These two dudes went out on stream and they were like, oh yeah, fucking please buy the subscription because subscription's going to be the way we support this game. It's going to have no pay to win. The game director came out Oh, I just want to show you this, by the way. This is the emergency stream that they did. How sad is this? It's like a fucking funeral. This guy looks like he's got a fucking Kalashnikov to the back of his head, like somebody's, you know, holding his family hostage or something. I mean, they both do. They've very clearly had a rough couple of days. But as you can see, go out, guys, go on camera and bow deeply, because our share price is getting fucked into the ground because we've lied. So what they did was, the game director came out and said specifically, quoted, don't worry guys, these things that are like dungeon passes, or, you know, these pay to win items, these items that are deeply going to impact the progression within the game, you will not be able to buy them for cash shop currency. This is exactly what they said. And if you go back to my other video, I said, I could play the clip here, but I'll just give you the cliff notes so I don't have to do any more video editing because I'm fucking lazy. I said, when a company, doesn't matter if it's Korean, doesn't matter if it's Western, doesn't matter where they're from, when they say in very specific wording, we will or we will not do these things, what they mean is we will not do that exact thing, but we're probably going to do something very similar to it. So when they say, we're not going to sell this thing in the cash shop, my theory was, oh, they're just going to allow you to sell those things for gold in the game, for, you know, gold that you earn, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not going to use their names. And because you can convert cash shop currency for in-game currency, you'll just be able to buy it with one extra click, one layer of abstraction difference. So they're technically not lying. You can't actually just click a button with cash shop currency and buy the item. Little did I know, more fool me, because they did it in a more fucking egregious manner. What they did was, right up until the actual day of release, they were saying, oh yeah, we're definitely not selling those progression items. And then they did, but they put them in a bundle where you got multiple pay-to-win items in the bundle. So they're like, oh yeah, we're definitely not selling that. By the way, here's a bundle. It literally has that item within it and another one that's probably even worse. So you can just buy that with currency. They also, you'll remember, I defended them, I guess. I gave the context that's important. They said 1 subscription for convenience, 2 subscription to fuck your ass. They didn't say that, I'm saying that, but same difference. 2nd subscription, premium subscription, super premium, ultra premium. You can take that subscription if you want to enjoy the game. If you want to enjoy the game more, buy the fuck your ass subscription. Fair enough, right? 2 subscriptions, $30+ per month. Not even per month, 28 days, so 13 times per year. Don't worry about that one, guys. But we also have 2 battle passes. Bro, they said over and over again that the 2 battle passes would be cosmetic only. They said it over and over and over again. So people were like, oh yeah, you know, 2 subs, maybe I only need to buy one. Maybe the other one isn't crazy good. It is. It's super fucking important, apparently. You definitely need that if you want to progress in the game in a meaningful way. Don't worry, fucking cosmetics only on the battle passes. So it's only 2 subs, guys. And if you buy them both together, you even get a discount. Wow. Round of applause. Great developers, fucking really looking out for the consumer. Get into the game. You know what the battle passes aren't? Cosmetic only. They're not cosmetic only. They literally have progression items all the way through both the battle passes, and the battle passes are different prices. So one of them is better than the other one. And if you wanted to get both of them, you're looking at, like, again, 30+ going towards $50 for your first month of doing this. And then because the battle passes are every 2 months, I guess technically half those. So you're looking at like maybe $45 every 28 days to do this. And then of course the next lie, because what's one lie? You know, whatever, it's NCSoft. We all expect 1 lie. What's 2 lies? Still NCSoft. The 3rd lie, they said, oh, the cash shop won't have anything in it other than cosmetics. Well, how did that one work out? The cash shop doesn't only have cosmetics, does it? The cash shop has everything you'd expect from a Korean MMO. It has fucking... The inventory in the game is tiny. What can you buy in the cash shop? Well, guess you could buy some inventory if you're struggling for inventory space. There's like multiple currencies. You store gold as an inventory slot to like fucking nudge you into buying inventory. You can get inventory in the game, apparently, which is what some people have said. Cool, I guess, if you can fucking suffer through the game for that long. But obviously, as a result of all this, you know, here's the stark contrast between fucking prior to release, actual release. You know, it looks like literally they've just found out that fucking somebody's been taken hostage. And then, of course, the share price did dump 15%. Has it recovered? No, it's even down 2% today. It's down 18% total in the last 5 days, which obviously has mostly happened. Basically, the game released, and within a couple of hours, the game fucking tanked. And some people were saying, of course, some people were saying, oh, the stock market overall is down, which makes sense if it wasn't for the fact that everything else is down like 1% or 2%, and then Csoft's down fucking 18%. You know, 20%, a fifth of your company in a day, well, in 2 days, I guess, let's be fair, is not regular stock market things happening, especially when it's literally the game releases, boom, you've fucking dropped 15%. This is not normal. The company is obviously fucked up big time to the point where they've tried to roll this back. They've come out and said, oh, we're removing this stuff from the cash shop immediately. We deeply apologize. We apologize people can't connect to the game. We apologize we lied to you repeatedly over and over again for months at a time. And then they've also said some other stuff, which I find fucking hilarious. They've said that they're looking into making the game introduce assist mode to facilitate smoother hunting on mobile devices. This will allow for the automatic use of skills instead of fully automated hunting. And he said that they will be considering implementing the assist feature on PC version and will provide further information once it's finalized. So basically, what they're saying is, we're adding in autoplay to the game on mobile, and then we're also looking at adding it to PC, depending. And the reason that they're doing this is because literally when asked, why did you add the pay to win stuff at the last minute? It wasn't in the last minute, which, you know, we could go in detail on in a second. I guess I will. He said, quote, I was worried that some users might have difficulty playing, so I included the pay to win items with the intention of giving them something with a little more benefit when purchasing things like clothes. So we've made this game and we think we've made it too difficult. So instead of changing the difficulty or adding like in-game things to make the game better, we just put it in the cash shop, even though we told you for months it wouldn't be in the cash shop. And we've just done that this morning. I was like, oh, fucking hell, woke up, game's releasing in a couple hours. Fuck it, let's make the game easier by making you spend money. Didn't do that. Obviously, people had spotted this when they did the live stream. They'd spotted this cash shop and these items in the cash shop repeatedly. And they literally came out and said, oh, no, that's just placeholder. It's placeholder. It's not going to be in the game, actually. That's just for testing. And I said at the time, like, there's no way that's true. That's a lie. And of course, the Aion Defense Force repeatedly told me I'm just, you know, hate mongering and this is all clickbait, outrage, and blah, blah, blah. Proven right at every turn. Once again, it's almost as if you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist unless you're a fucking zealot moron. You knew this was going to happen. Not to this extent, of course, because they've done this one fucking real dirty. But just in general, they fucked the launch of this game so bad that I honestly don't know how anybody can ever say anything about this game other than if you continue to play this, you're down tremendous. You are down tremendous. You're just a slug at this point. You're just slithering around, just desperate for any fucking morsel that you can find. Because if you are gonna support a company when they repeatedly do this to you, like this is not just something they tripped over. Oh my god, I fell over and lied to you for 3 months. They've done this to the player base. You deserve everything that you get from companies like this. You really do, because when I use the word egregious, people mock me for it all the time because it's like, that's a really serious word for, you know, video game monetization discussions or whatever. This is one of the worst examples of a developer just bald-faced, just openly lying to their customer base. They had every opportunity to downplay it or just ignore it completely. But instead, they chose to actually specifically word for word lie to you and tell you the opposite thing. I actually kind of respect it in a way. Like, if you're going to be that shameless as a company, I respect it. It's so brazen. Like, how could you not? They've honestly, they've done this in probably the funniest way possible, because nobody could have expected it to be this bad. What I thought was, as I said earlier, they were going to say, oh, you can't do X, Y, and Z in these very specific way that we've worded it, but have like a layer of abstraction with like, oh, but you can trade it to cash up currency to gold, and then you can buy it with gold from other players. So technically, we're not selling it for that currency. And I'd be like, well, you know, that's what I expected. And of course, monetization for games, especially Korean games, typically gets worse the longer the game goes on. Why do they do this? One, because they're not bringing in new players anymore, so they might as well milk the old ones. And two, because then at that point, the people that are playing have enough sunk cost of their account existing, time that they've spent on it, money that they've spent on it, the fact that they obviously enjoy the game, and then more pay to win comes in, and they're like, whatever, you know, boil the frog very slowly, and the frog will, you know, not really notice. So the fact that they did this so quickly, like, you have got to respect in a way that the moment you bent over, they were just there with their dick out. Like, I don't know what to say other than, you know, good job, NCSoft. You even defied my expectations as the absolute cynic that I am, the outrage farmer, the outrage merchant, the every MMO is bad, the company's a bad YouTuber that I am, the fucking slop tuber, as some of these fans like to say. You surprised me. The funny thing is, I watched Cannon's video where he was like, he went to the booth for Aion 2 before release, and he was speaking to some Chinese players and some Korean players as well. And the prevailing sentiment from that video, from people you're speaking to, as well as my own research when I was reading like Korean forums and stuff like that, was that even if the monthly sub was expensive, if you could just play the game and everything else was cosmetic, even if it was like $50, 50 US dollars per month, that would be a reasonable sum of money for them to pay for a game they were playing all the time, because the alternative are other crazy pay-to-win MMOs, such as Lost Ark in Korea and things of that nature. So in their mind, it was like, okay, $50 is kind of expensive, but it's cheap compared to keeping up with the other games that we already play and have access to. So if it's only $50, we're okay with it. And that's the angle they were coming from. I completely disagree. I think paying $50 a month for a single game is fucking insane. It's like, not just like, oh, I'm going to buy some skins this month because I'm feeling flush. I'm feeling like a fucking overnight millionaire, and I'm going to throw a few dollars at this like cool skin or whatever. I don't care if people do that. I think it is what it is. It's part of the industry now. We just have to accept that. If you're not going to accept it, you know, get with the times, old man. Shit ain't changing anytime soon, if ever. But like a mandatory, these are things that you have to have in the game. Otherwise, your progression is going to be gimped, and it's going to feel like you're being, you know, some big man's got his hand on your head and you're fucking swinging your arms trying to get to him. If the subscriptions are like that, $50 is a crazy amount per month, but obviously that's the angle they were coming at, which makes sense. It wouldn't work in the West, obviously. That's like DOA, that's a dead on arrival game, if that's the case. But obviously some people are going to defend it because literally their brain doesn't work, because they're so deprived from oxygen, because they've deep-throated the corporate NCSoft cock for so long that, again, they're just cock drunk. Like, they don't know what's going on. They've been slapped around. They can hardly function. They're just fucking completely oxygen deprived. That being said, of course, we can round out the long rant video now that could have been 10 minutes shorter than it actually is. There are people defending this, and I'm of the opinion that I don't really have a read on whether the game's going to be good or not, because the only thing I really wanted to test is like the combat, because the monetization can change. It should change. But I wanted to see, like, is the combat good enough to carry the game, like, for some hours of enjoyment? Unfortunately, due to the ping, unless it was just the DDoS that was making it unplayable, and I'm going to log on tomorrow and it's going to be okay, I'm probably not going to spend much time with it. I'll probably release a video tomorrow, the day after, with, like, a first impressions, going over the actual game systems. Just as a cliff note, the character creator is fucking great. You can make very beautiful characters. It's awesome. It's one of the best we've had in MMOs for many, many years. So that's good. The world looks beautiful. The characters look great. The aesthetics cool. And obviously the graphics are good. Unfortunately, the entire game looks like you're playing a mobile game. and I can't really test the combat all too much, and the systems I don't know enough to have them make sense yet. So I'll check it out. If the lag's really unbearable, I'll play it for a couple hours and then talk about it. And if it's actually playable and I can find the combat to be fun or whatever, I'll give it 10 to 20 hours and I'll let you know how I feel about it after that. So expect that in the next couple of days, and I'll let you know either way which one it is. But either way, there we go. Thanks for watching as always. Check out the link in the video description. Go support me, buy some gamer subs, and use my code. You'll get a discount. I'll get a kickback. Win-win. And thanks. See you next time. Stay safe. We're out. Peace.